Mike, Frederick, fantastic to be with you talking about new Pro V1 and Pro V1x. One of the most inspiring elements of our process is that it starts and ends with the golfer. Everything we do is to help golfers play better. As soon as we finish making a golf ball, we start listening to golfers to make the next great golf ball. Frederick, that's one of the things we ask you to do every day, is to culminate all the feedback we get from players so that Mike and his team know exactly where to go with the next generation of Pro V1 and Pro V1x. So talk to us a little bit about how this journey started that resulted in the 25 Pro V1 and Pro V1x.
Our team really works in concert with R&D to make sure we know exactly what players are looking for as we look to develop the next generation of Pro V1 and Pro V1x. Because like you said, it starts and ends with the player. And so not long after we launched the 2023 Pro V1 and Pro V1x, we started working with players really that winter and into the middle of the summer to understand, are they looking for more spin or different flight or a different feel of the golf ball? And it really centered on looking for some more spin in the short irons, 8-iron through wedge around the green. And we took that feedback, we gave it to Mike, and that's where they started their development process.
And so, Mike, you get this feedback, you hear from players, gosh, we want some more spin, but only in these certain areas of the game. What then happens? What is your process to turn that into a finished product?
And it comes into R&D. We have the directive, we have our goal in mind, and we set our engineers on that path. And the first thing they do is they start looking at every single piece of the golf ball to figure out how are we going to achieve that goal. And we're going to try everything. We're going to look at the core, the casing layer, the cover, aerodynamics if necessary to really hone in. And in this particular case, we really honed in on the formulation, the chemistry, and the process around making that core. And along the way, actually found some opportunities to add speed. So the golfer asked for more spin, and we found a way to not only give them the more spin that they were asking for, where they were asking for it, but also add some speed in the long game.
Mike, new Pro V1. Tell us a little bit about what's new, what's different, and how is that going to benefit the golfer?
Yeah, so with Pro V1 development, the first thing we did was try to achieve that goal by looking at every single piece of the process. So we looked at the core, the casing layer, the cover, and we looked at the combination of all those different factors. And what we really honed in on was the reformulation of the core and the process that goes into making that. And that reformulation leads to more speed off the tee and more spin with irons and around the green.
That's great. Fantastic about new Pro V1. Pro V1x complements it wonderfully. Tell us what's new and different about the new Pro V1x.
So Pro V1x, we're going through the same process, the same level of evaluation, but it has a dual core. So there's a little bit more that goes into the core formulation process. But at the end of the entire development, we ended up in the same place, a new reformulated core for more speed and more spin with irons and wedges.
So help me understand this one, because I think when golfers hear spin and they hear about improvements in the control and the spin of a golf ball, they don't always instantly think core. So start with Pro V1. How is it possible that golfers asked for more spin and your team ended up with a core formulation change that is giving them what they're looking for?
Right. And when you look at golf ball design, we have teams dedicated to every single piece of the golf ball for this very reason, is because when we're going in and we're trying to hit this performance attribute, we're going to use every single tool in our toolbox, and every single layer within that golf ball is a different tool that we can use to adjust spin, speed, distance, whatever we need to balance all the different shots within the bag. So we're going to look at core formulations and process and size of the construction and gradients within the core. We're going to look at that casing layer and hardness and size and relationship to the core and the cover materials. We're going to look at cover material softness and how that relates to everything. And we're going to take all those, we're going to balance them out. We're going to look at prototypes that change those pieces individually, that change them in concert with one another. We're going to go through this iterative loop that never stops of testing on robots, testing with players, optimizing the construction, doing it again. And we do that over and over until we get to a point that we're confident in the construction that we have is going to be performing on the robots. So we believe the data, and we're going to go validate it with players.
So Frederick, is it ever awkward when you go to R&D and you're literally asking them to take the best golf ball on planet Earth and make it better?
Well, I don't think so, actually, because they're pretty talented. They're pretty amazing. And I think we all feel that when you have a team like that, what Mike just described, hey, anything's possible. We just have to articulate where we want to go, and they'll figure out a way to do it. So when you have the resources we do in golf ball R&D dedicated to just making Titleist golf balls and then manufacturing themselves, because that's a big part of it too. Can we make it consistently? pretty optimistic that we can continue to improve performance.
And so, Frederick, as we think about the process of creating two very distinct products, tell us a little bit about the selection criteria and the process for golfers out there wondering, well, gee, which of these golf balls should I be playing?
The best thing to do is start by going and getting fit if you haven't done so already. And we have a lot of great resources indoor and out, more than ever before, to go do that. But if you want to do it on your own, start at the green. Get a couple golf balls, compare them that way, move back towards the irons. That's where you see the biggest difference in terms of trajectories and spins. And then finish at the tee. If you need to make an adjustment to your driver, that's easy to do generally these days. But start at the green, work back towards the tee, and you'll find the right ball for you.
And what if a golfer is already connected to a Pro V1? They know it's the right golf ball for their game. How should they be thinking about these new changes that Mike and team have built into the new Pro V1?
If you like your Pro V1 today, you're going to love the new Pro V1. Same with X. But again, we encourage you to test both.
And then the last piece of the puzzle, if I'm at a property that maybe doesn't allow me to get out on the golf course, it doesn't allow me to get by a green, are there other places that I might be able to test a golf ball and evaluate the different performances?
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about RCT, our radar capture technology. You can get fit indoors using a Titleist app any day of the year, in rain or shine, day or night, using that technology.
There's a number of different ways to figure out which golf ball is right for you. There's some incredible improvements in new Pro V1 and Pro V1x. Go try the new 25 Pro V1 and Pro V1x. They're faster with more control and more spin around the green. What else could you ask for?